The thing about Ikit's Doom Wheel that sets it apart from other lesser Doom Wheels is primarily the missile damage. I mean, of course, it's also holding Ikit Claw, who is a caster, which is a huge change. But you can see here it has 3 projectiles. The normal Doom Wheel has 1, Regiment of Renown has 2, and Ikit has 3. He's also, of course, got... yeah, whatever lore that I forget this is. I haven't played Skaven in a very long time, but lore ruin it is. There we go. Anyway, playing up against Way here. Ikit leading the way. We've got a Plague Priest up against a bunch of Rangers, a Lariel, and a Firebird. Good old Flamespire Phoenix, a bunch of White Lions, and Reaver Archers. On my side, got a whole bunch of Chaff, Mortar. And then over here, a big old Vanguard squad of doggos. We've got 2 Gutter Runners, one with poison, one without, and an Assassin as well. Brood Horror also chilling in the back. So nice kind of combined Skaven army here. And Way's going to get right off the bat attacking my Plague Priest there, doing some nice little hit-and-run action with those Murder Birds. And the Rangers are an interesting choice here. You know, Way and I were discussing... and I've been discussing with a number of players recently that there's really no point in taking infantry for the most part against Skaven if you're playing as High Elves because mortars exist and it's just a kind of weird interaction. But the Hound's able to shatter that Ranger real quick. Ikit's starting to get his thing going, but really I want to try and save these shots if I can. If you're really on top of your micro, you would even like take him off fire at will and wait until you're nearby other single entities like a Lariel especially to be blasting. But look at that, just absolutely detonates those poor Rangers. I have made a video previously about Doom Wheels, I'm like 99% sure. But Doom Wheel, Ikit's Doom Wheel is special. You know, not only is it one of the coolest looking with that massive kind of crackling effect, that missile damage, and also being a caster is awesome. Here, I've a little bit overextended my Hounds going after those Reavers, and very nice drop, but instant tear out from that Flamespire Phoenix. One big downside of Wolf Rats, they have absolutely abysmal leadership and will instantly rout, yeah, do a number of things. Ikit now comes over, though. We're going to summon up some Clan Rats, and this Howling Warp Gale now locks these 2 in place, and we're going to get Ikit in combat. In melee, he will still continue to fire. You see how he point-blank blasts a Lariel there, and that kind of gives him like a secondary attack, right? We've also used the Assassin's Trophy. It just barely popped off, actually, on a Lariel there, I believe. And, yeah, it's been rough for her, to say the least, so far. I'm going to go ahead and pull up and around for another Cycle Charge. She's kind of distracted by those Clan Rat units, does not... or yeah, here comes the Assassin's Trophy, actually. Does pop a heal on herself there. Going to stay in bounds of the Star of Avalorn to try and maximize her healing, but that just allows me to come back around with Ikit, take advantage of that charge bonus. The Doom Wheel does have pretty solid charge. What is that? 50 charge bonus, so punches decently. It doesn't have the most weapon strength in the world, but that missile attack, the triple shot, gives it a clear advantage. And blasts Lariel as she's pulling away there. Another Howling Warp Gale, kind of side blast the Flamespire Phoenix in the face. Now as we pull away here, I'm going to just position Ikit at this point, and hopefully he'll blast. Yeah, there we go. Blast Lariel just like that. I did bring his missile item as well, so we're going to use that. Whatever it is, I forget. There's way too many items and abilities now for me to keep track of. Storm Demon, of course. Actually, pretty fun map as well. But anyway, if we take an overarching look at the battle, my Gutter Runners have been able to kind of pressure the Illyrian Reavers here, and they've been taken off skirmish mode momentarily. I kind of get a little bit of a surround here, trapping them with multiple units. Use that Brass Orb to lock a few of them in place. Clan Rat Spears come over and start to dish out some pain. So we're able to break those Reaver Archers, and you can see with that, I'm able to take advantage on the balance of power ever so slightly. But yeah, the Plague Priest... it's going to have to deal with these Lion Chariots, and of course Ikit will as well. Ikit now getting charged. He's still got less than half his ammo left, but still a decent amount. And the Flamespire Phoenix does get a few free attacks on him, more or less, since he's not targeted on the Flamespire. But here we go. Retarget that. We'll throw in the Brood Horror. You know, I actually really like using Ikit with a Brood Horror kind of together. The Brood Horror poisons, and it's fast enough to catch just about anything. The Doom Wheels are a little bit slower. 72 speed, though, is definitely not bad for like a War Machine type unit. A few of you were making comparisons between Doom Wheels and Steam Tanks in my recent Steam Tank video, and that kind of inspired me to take this build, see if we could make it work. Ikit is one of my secret favorite characters. Kind of a dirty I won't say dirty secret, that sounds horrifying. A guilty pleasure, that sounds maybe worse. Anyway, you know what I mean. Please don't send the witch hunters on me. I just am a fan of mechanical things, and this is quite the mechanical thing, you have to admit. Blasting up in the sky again as Alariel comes back. She gets zapped. Manages to get one Earthblood on herself. She does have the Assassin's Trophy as well, so if she chooses to land, it'll be a bad day for her. And the nice thing, too, is that it's a multi-shot, but it's not very spread out, right? Like, the missile damage is all kind of concentrated together, so... Lion Chariots do charge. A little bit of bumper car action between the chariots is always a good time. We're going to see if this Warp Lightning does anything like what we saw that Brandon's Thunderbolt, and it does not. In fact, I don't know if I just missed, but why not throw another Brass Orb there? Just because we can. There's not really anything to use it on at this point. One last Star of Avalorn. The Brood Horror and the Assassins kind of get bullied a little bit here, but they are going to start to turn things around. And that missile damage, you can see how Ikit, very thankfully, I cannot control his missile attacks, but he is choosing to blast Alariel, which I can only be grateful for. So, man, you gotta wonder, like, who does Ikit trust enough to be this guy? Like, what's this engineer's name? You guys come up with a name for this guy in the comments below. I don't know, there's probably not a lore like, name for him. Ikit's apprentice here, but Ikit now gets charged by Alariel, who gets shot and terrified by him, so she's gone. The Lion Chariots are blasted also, and they're getting pretty low on leadership. If we could just finish them off. The Phoenix, unfortunately, does not get its healing proc. The Gutter Runners finally come all the way back around full circle. They literally ran like an entire lap around the map, chasing those Illyrian Reavers, and finally coming back to the main battle to debuff these chariots, allow Ikit to finish them off. And look at this, Ikit's damage value, just very quickly here, 4,000 and climbing, almost 4,200 damage value all said and done at the end of the day. Absolutely incredible, man. I forgot how powerful Ikit's chariot is. With the new Skaven tools, kind of as a complement, the Wolf Rats and the Brood Horrors and so on, I think Ikit's definitely going to make a little bit of a comeback here. 4,200 damage value at the end of the day, 13,000 total damage dealt, and a lot of that is high value damage with the Zaps up against Alariel and the Flamespire, neither of which did a whole lot. I mean, Flamespire's not too expensive, so just about paid for itself there, or did, in fact. Likewise, the Lion Chariots are a pretty good pick here. This is why I kind of say you don't need to bring infantry against Skaven, because you just lose the infantry fight. Better to just bring cavalry and chariots and go super wide and mobile and kind of pick them apart in that way. The Illyrian Reaver Archers can be decent hybrid melee missile units here, but their missile DPS is not amazing, so you do need to be careful of that. Yeah, on my side, Ikit was definitely the carrier. I mean, decent damage value on the Plague Priest too, paid for himself. Also, Assassin paid for himself. Gutter Runners did pretty well overall. Wolf Rats got some initial okay engagements, but that big terror route from Way, credit to him with his Phoenix there catching me out. Yeah, just ridiculous value on the Poison Moon orders to be expected. Maybe not too ridiculous, but tasteful. Brood Horror also doubled up on its value as well. Absolutely love these guys. But yeah, Ikit, man, he only cost something like 2,300 in the loadout I brought him with, and 4,200 damage value is really, really nice. In matchups where you're not afraid of fighting really high-tier single entities, or if you bring, you know, a build that can complement in taking them out, then Ikit's not really a bad choice, I don't think. Like, he can be somewhat snipeable by certain, you know, builds and lords and everything like that, but you can keep him with mobile support and keep him from taking too much burst damage. He will absolutely pay for himself, especially using that missile attack against high-value targets. We go ahead and just kind of finish up here. Once again, you'll see Ikit only pays 550 for his Doom Wheel too, so it's a relatively cheap upgrade as far as like elite kind of quote-unquote monster mount choices go. Excuse me. I don't know that it's necessarily like a top-tier, you know, elite monster choice, but I had him there just with Howling Warp Gale and Warp Lightning. Death Frenzy is also a pretty good add if you have the points for it, if you can cut like a Skaven Slave or something. Storm Demon I also brought just for fun because I wanted to really go all in on the kind of Ikit shooting Doom Wheel thing. But yeah, he has triple shot, right? And if we look at the Regiment of Renown here, the Wheels of Doom, it has double shot, and then the regular Doom Wheel just has a single shot, right? So it is a pretty considerable damage buff. You can see 79 versus 237 damage over 10 seconds. Just absolutely massive. Literally triple damage, and I think it's even a faster refire rate as well. Let's see, 10.8, maybe not. 10.8, so no faster fire rate, just literally 3 times the damage. I believe the Warlock Master comes with the standard Doom Wheel. Yeah, he doesn't get any bonus for his, and it's also 800 points, so arguably really not a great choice for the Warlock Master. If you're gonna take this guy, there's not really a lot of reasons to. You can. I mean, he has Wand of Jet, I guess, and more powder. Extra powder, rather. Maybe you take him on the motorcycle, but really, if you're going to be taking Ikit, I have seen a lot of people recently taking Ikit on the motorcycle, and that's not a bad choice by any means, but 300 more points, and you get the Doom Wheel, which, again, causes terror, has this devastating missile attack. Really good stuff. I am a huge fan. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.